Hello, hello. My name's Michelle. I am a 48-year-old part-time teacher. I used to be full-time, now I'm part-time, which means I am inadvertently an entrepreneur. I'm gonna have to push the doggy away because he loves being on camera. So that's why my hand is moving, because his head is right here. So today I wanted to talk about velocity banking and the debt snowball because interestingly, I, of course, have heard of Dave Ramsey, as many of you have. I have tried his stuff. I actually tried it probably about a decade ago. And so I do feel like I have some working knowledge of it because I tried it for an extended period of time. And so I wanted to compare it to velocity banking so that if you were trying to decide kind of which might be best for you, coming from someone who has not necessarily been, no, you have to, buddy, you have to get down. Okay, get down. Okay, so I have three kind of, I guess, points I want to make. I was decluttering and I found this. Look at this. Is this not the cutest thing? It's called a boogie board. No, it's not sponsored. But anyway, I had bought this like a few years ago at I think it was like Costco or Sam's Club. And the idea is like it's like paper saving because see, you probably can't really see, but you can see there's writing on it. So in essence, what you do is you can write on it and then, so see, I'm gonna sit it right here and that way I can still see. You can write on it and then you can erase it. Now it's very low tech though. It almost reminds you of like, I'm gonna show my age here, but you know that toy we used to have when we were young, if you're my age, and it was like this, like it almost reminded you of like some sort of like crinkly paper, and you could like write on it with this red pen, and then like you would write on it, and then when you were finished, you would like lift it up and it would erase it. I'm gonna see if I could find a picture and insert it, but anyway, that's what that board kind of reminds me of because you can write on it. But then when you're finished, you just press a button to erase. So it's very low tech. Like it's not like you could upload your list somewhere, but for those of us who love to make lists, and it kind of could replace even like post-it notes type stuff, because that way you could just write on that and then every day kind of make a new one. That's what I thought when I bought it like 3-4 years ago and have never used it, but I got distracted. So let me get back on topic. So the first big difference, I think, between velocity banking and the debt snowball is a mindset shift. I think that when you're doing the debt snowball, to me, just my experience with the debt snowball, it's really addressing the, I guess, disease-ish, the outcome. It's not really looking at the cause. So you are like laser focused on the outcome or the effect. So you're like, I'm trying to pay off debt. So I get it. We get extra jobs. Now we call them side hustles, but we're like trying to make extra money so that we can pay off this debt. Okay, so that's the mindset. So you're not really changing anything about your behavior. You're just like, oh, if I just had some more money, I could pay this stuff down. Whereas I think with velocity banking, the difference is the mindset shift is being way, 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 way more intentional with your money and the credit cards you have. So for first, I guess the biggest, now that I think about it, is that velocity banking does not look at credit as, oh, it's horrible, you shouldn't have it, everybody just use cash. And we know Dave Ramsey's philosophy is definitely cash is king, and definitely love cash. I think cash has its value, but I do think that in 2023, as technology continues to advance, that as a group, as people, we have got to figure out a way to responsibly use credit cards on our own. And when I say on our own, I mean, that means we have to figure out systems and routines that help us use credit responsibly, because it is a good thing. Like, especially, you know, if you're starting a business, you know, you can leverage it, things like that. But anyway, I think with velocity banking, the mindset shift helps you see that used correctly, credit cards can really be an advantage. And so I think it walks you through that, because as you are putting your everyday expenses on a credit card, I think it's helping, at least me, be more intentional with how I'm using credit cards. Because I think before, in my mind, credit cards to me were almost like an emergency fund or I deserve card. And so that means even if I didn't have the money, I'd be like, but I worked hard, I deserve that trip, or I work hard, I deserve that perfume, or I work hard, I deserve that Bath and Body. Whereas I think with Velocity Banking, it's helping me see, oh, I did work hard. Let me save up and then I can buy this and then I can put it on a credit card and then I can get like extra points from either travel or cashback. So I feel like I like Velocity Banking more because I feel like it's a pairing of credit cards and mindset in opposed to just feeling like, credit cards are evil, don't touch them. And that is fine. But I feel like if you don't ever use a credit card, then you're never going to learn how to use it responsibly. I mean, it's almost like this adage of like, if you had a car accident, you'd never drive again. I think you would. But I think you'd be more cautious. You'd practice more. I think you just, set it up differently. And so I feel like credit cards should be the same way. The second one is I feel like it helps you develop a habit of paying off your credit cards every month. So with Velocity Banking, the idea is that you're almost like using a credit card or a line of credit, almost like a savings account. So what happens is like you're putting all your money into this one bin, and then from there you're paying things off that you can and things in that nature. Well, I like that because I feel like with the Debt Snowball, your focus is just, I gotta pay off the debt, but you're not cultivating any habits to keep you out of debt. All you're doing is focusing all your energy on paying it off. And I think the psychological principle there is that maybe because it's gonna take you so much work and so much effort and just blood, sweat, and tears to pay this stuff off, that maybe that's going to be your motivator for not getting back into debt. But unfortunately, the Debt Snowball does not cultivate habits that would help you stay out of debt. Because first of all, most people do not carry all that cash with them. Like, we're in 2023, we have debit cards, we have credit cards. Most people aren't even doing that. So this whole idea, I think the principles of like the cash envelope system, wonderful. I think they apply. If you've seen some other videos, you see I have like a digital sinking funds, I like to call them floating funds, thing with Capital One. So I get parts of it, but I feel like when it comes to the actual credit cards and paying them off, I feel like Velocity Banking helps you create routines and systems around accomplishing that, because you're sitting down, you're being very, 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 very intentional on like, what is this credit card paying? What am I using it for? And I think if we retrain and reprogram our minds to think of credit cards that way, then we won't just have a credit card in our wallet and just feel like, oh, I need a new shirt, swipe, oh, I'm hungry, swipe. I think we can learn to be more intentional with it. Because while you are using the Velocity Banking strategies, you're also developing better money habits. You're learning the habit of paying attention to what you spend. You are keeping up with how much income do you have every month? How much are your expenses every month? And I think that the Velocity Banking approach is a more holistic approach, meaning it's not just going to help you pay off your debt and save interest, but it's going to help you be more on top of just your expenses on a monthly basis. Hey, is this still important to me 6 months later, a year later? Because every month you're looking at those numbers really, really closely. And I just think it helps you develop a plan. And I also think that it cuts out kind of that urgency, because I think with the Debt Snowball, there's this, and I know this saying I think is like gazelle intensity. And so it's kind of like this rush of like, I gotta hurry up and pay this debt off and then da da da. But instead, why not pay the debt off at your own pace? But at the same time, each month you're developing kind of some new money muscles, if that makes sense. So that's the second reason why I like Velocity Banking better, is because I feel like it's just helping me be more intentional with my credit card and work out a plan that's kind of sustainable. It's not just for a certain amount of period of time, which leads me to my third one, which is sustainability. So Velocity Banking, technically is something you really could do for the rest of your life. You could pay down your debt and then decide, hey, I'm just going to use this one card. And then this is the card I use to pay, all my expenses through. And at the end of the month, you pay it off, and then you get really good with your credit card rewards or your travel rewards or cashback or however. And I don't feel like the Debt Snowball gives you that option. Okay. I feel like the debt snowball is more of a, hey, it's almost like a second step. So for me, I feel like if you want to start the debt snowball, I think before you do, you should really look at like your current spending habits and look at them realistically. So, all of us have different wants and needs. If you've seen some of my other videos, I'm a minimalist. So like, for instance, I don't really spend a lot on like clothes. You can see I don't get my hair done. I don't get my nails done. I polish it myself. I do get pedicures, but I feel like if you sit down and decide what's important to you in this season. So let's just pick, I'm filming this in July. So let's say July 2023, these are the things that are important to me. Now, you can't go back in the past and uncharge all the stuff that you've done. And you can't jump into the future and make a ridiculous amount of money. But what you can do right now is you can start looking at the money you spend and what makes you happy. So when you look at your life expenses, how much technically do you need a month to sustain your current lifestyle? And then from there, then you can start with the debt snowball, because if you wanted to do it, then you could look and say, okay, this is my life. I'm okay with this. Credit cards are not evil. I don't mind using them. I just need to be able to use them, in a more responsible way. And then you can kind of work out a plan and you can pay them off. But all along, I feel like the debt snowball in isolation, I do not think is the magic pill. And I do not have any research. I have not looked this up, but if I had to guess, from the bankruptcy statistics around people in the United States, that method does not work. It's not sustainable. Yes, you get out of debt for a little bit, but then you're right back in it, because the debt snowball is not helping you save money. Because let's just be honest, I know Dave Ramsey's baby steps. I think there's 7 of them. I think that in 2023, they probably need to be updated, because I think that there are a lot of different opportunities right now to maximize your money. So I don't think that it's necessary to do just one thing at a time. I think that it is insane to not be contributing to a company retirement plan if your company matches it. So those are, just kind of some of the things that I think that debt snowball isn't bad, but I think that velocity banking is a more comprehensive way to approach money. So I'm absolutely loving it. So as a quick recap, one, I think velocity banking is great because it's a mindset shift, because we have definitely not been taught to use credit cards that way. Well, when I say we, those of us who have credit card debt have not been taught to use credit cards that way. Those who use credit cards responsibly have exactly been taught how to do that. And unfortunately, when you fill out a credit card application and you get approved, it does not come with the video that says, hey, here's some ways that you can maximize this, because credit card companies make a lot of money off of interest. So they're clearly not going to teach us that. 2, it forms the habit of being more intentional with your credit cards, helps you develop kind of a plan around how you're going to use them. What are you using them for? What's the purpose? And also you get some benefits, either cash back or travel. And then next, it's sustainable. Okay. Sustainable in the sense that you can go at your own pace. You're not feeling like you're in this relay. You don't feel like you're in this 100-yard dash. You got to hurry up and pay this debt off. Kind of like the feeling I got with the debt snowball. And who knows, maybe that was just me. I feel like velocity banking just feels more like a budgeting tool, if that makes sense. So, every month, hey, this is kind of one of the strategies I'm using to help me manage my money. In this case, to help me get out of debt, but eventually I will be out of debt. And I still plan on using velocity banking because I just think that I like it and I can see the benefits of it. So as always, until later, thank you for watching and be grateful. Bye-bye.